The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Auto HDR, the AI that powers our back end. For a free month of editing, go to autohdr.com/upmarket. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. Oh, my other co-founder, Mark Corcoran, he couldn't be bothered to show up for this, because he's busy. So whatever. But you know what? Molly Peart's here, producing off mic, off camera today. Molly, we're winding it down with Molly, one of her last episodes, but she's bringing the fire today, but just silently bringing the fire. And but this is another one of these PMRE episodes. So I do want to do a quick shout out to iGuide for working with us again this year to bring you these special episodes. And of course, the iGuide tour to PMRE, their giveaway is coming up. The second draw. Look, they are giving away 2 more full trips to PMRE. This is going to include your ticket, your airfare, your hotel, and they're throwing in one of the workshops. And what are the workshops? They're like $800 each or $900. This deal is so incredible. All you need to do is go to goiguide.com/PMRE, enter your email address, and then go and follow Upmarket Pod and follow go_iGuide on Instagram. That's it. And you could, these trips are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Get in there, get entered. And of course, because it is PMRE 2026 is November 17th through 19th at the Palms Resort Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. PMREconference.com. Get in there, get your tickets. They're going. This thing is going to sell out. I'm pretty sure it's going to sell out. So I really want to make sure you get in there and get your tickets, because if you are there and you have a ticket, you're going to be able to be in the same room as our guest today. It is Alex Aaron, the founder, probably the CEO, I don't know, I don't really care, but of Archipix based out of Minnesota. And Alex, here's the thing. I have, of all the people I know in this industry, you have built your business so quickly, and you've gotten so huge in a very short amount of time. How have you done it? What is your secret? Enlighten us all.
Well, first of all, it doesn't seem like a short amount of time. It's been 10 years.
Has it been 10 years? I feel like it had been shorter, but yeah, no, 10 years. You've been
10
doing
years.
it.
We started in 2016, the very end of 2016. So coming up on 10 years.
See, 2016 feels like 5 years ago to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's my issue. Yeah.
I don't have a secret sauce or an answer I can give anybody on what success looks like, other than just work your tail off. Like that's what I did. And I didn't have room for failure at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
you were desperate.
I was desperate for sure.
Yeah.
When I started my company, and I worked relentlessly, and it paid off quickly.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing that has always struck me about your company is how you were able to pretty quickly get into different markets. And that's something that, at Upmarket, we've really struggled with. We're still, even years later, it's like we're having trouble breaking out of kind of our home base area, which is big, and there's a lot of population, and we do a good business. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but to really scale, you do need to increase your territory. So what was the genesis of you breaking into a new market, and how did you approach that?
Yeah, again, it was out of necessity. Here in Minnesota, our real estate business is extremely seasonal. And so we felt that really, really strongly, like starting basically after October, things just really dropped off. And so I had no experience, no idea how to do this. And the real estate agents I talked to were like, yeah, that's just how real estate is here, is it's very seasonal. And so I said, okay, well, let me think about this. And I said, well, I know people in Florida. So Florida is kind of where everyone goes during the winter. And so I decided to try Florida. I said, all right, well, let me go down to Florida, spend some time down there, see what I can figure out. And that's what I did. And that was the second place I expanded. So I went from Minnesota. I mean, we're on the border of Wisconsin, so we had a little bit of Wisconsin work also, but, residual from where we were here in the Twin Cities. And so Florida was really our second state we expanded into. And I did it by going down there and doing the same thing I did up here and starting my business, which is like relentless marketing and in-person marketing. And that's been what I've done for the past 10 years. That's been my number one marketing strategy is going out and going to every single office that I can find, going in, dropping off my flyers, talking to the lady at the front desk, and then getting their business cards for whoever's in charge
Hmm.
there. And that's what I've done since day
Well,
one.
but how were you able to do that in Florida while still running your business in Minnesota? And obviously, it's a little fallow in the winter, but you would go down there, and not to get too personal into it, but I know you have kids, and I know it's like, how were you managing that, even just to make that work with your life? And is that why you got divorced?
I don't. It's probably played a role in the divorce for sure. uh, so yeah, like I scaled massively right out of the gate. Like I from in the first year, the first full year that I was in business, I did almost 1,000 tours. Photographed 1,000 homes um,
Hmm.
in my
That's
first
huge
year.
already. Yeah.
Yeah. So within about 4 or 5 months, I think, of starting the business, I was looking for another photographer already, just because it wasn't manageable. At the time, I had a newborn son coming, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this uh, while I'm at a hospital and like caring for a newborn and stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
immediately went looking for somebody else. I think I started in October, so the hiring process probably started around January, and I was just looking for somebody to kind of help me out because it was just too much. It was like between photographing and answering phones and
Yeah.
editing photos at night. This was back before AI, so I was
Hmm.
I was literally doing everything myself. So I hired someone and just started teaching him how to do what I was doing, all of it. And that person became first my customer support, and then he started photographing as well, and then he was able to cover for me. So by the time I went down to Florida, I think I had 3 photographers. It was after we were been in business for about a year before I went to Florida, and I think I had 3 photographers at that time.
So, okay, just even to go back to it, to get 1,000 shoots that first year. I mean, that's incredible. Like, when you're doing this in person marketing, I mean, what is your strategy for that? I mean, because you're not that personable. So it's like I'm wondering, how sorry, how did you charm these people into getting all this work?
It's just my good looks, I think, got me in the door.
Yeah,
It's all that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
uh, my strategy was like when I started this business, I didn't have any customers. I had like 3 people that I knew that I
Uh
thought
huh.
maybe would use me. They were real estate agents. Obviously, that's not enough support a business.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so my strategy was literally I had my flyers printed off, and I just went to like at the time I had no money, so I went and had like a little 5x7 piece of flyer printed up that had a picture on the front and the name of the company and the contact information and some pricing on the back. And I went to when I go into the offices, I'd walk in the front door and I'd say, "Hey, my name's Alex. I'm a real estate photographer. Can I leave some information for your agents in case they need somebody?" And they 99.9% of the time they say, "Yeah, sure. We'll take them." And then they go put them in the resource room. And I did that like that was my full-time job when I first started. Like I said, I was desperate. So like if I wasn't photographing Monday through Friday during business hours, I was going to every single real estate office I could find. Literally every single one. And I drove to offices that were an hour and a half, 2 hours away from my house. I would go and drop them off there too because I was like, I got to grow the business. Like my immediate thought was, I got to make this as big as we can so that this is going to be sustainable for me and for my family. So like I
Now,
went to all these offices and I didn't ever stop.
and that was 10 years ago. What did the landscape look like in terms of, because I feel like real estate photography, real estate media in general now is so different than it was 10 years ago. We have all of the, Eli's minions out there starting their businesses, and there's just so much more competition than there was. Were you kind of the only game in town, or were you actually, you think, kind of taking market share from other people who were there?
Oh, I was definitely taking market share. There was actually a lot of competition because Minneapolis is Twin Cities is a pretty big market here for real
Yeah,
estate. So we
sure.
had there's a big local company here called Spacecrafting. They kind of do the luxury
Oh,
high
of
end
course. Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were big. They still are big. Virtuance, VHT, OBO at the
Hmm.
time was huge here, and most everybody
Hmm.
was using OBO. Um, so yeah, there was quite a few big companies that already had a presence here, and then a ton of individuals. Like a lot of people that I ended up bringing over to me were, oh yeah, I use this guy who does it for some real estate agents, stuff like that. Like I kind of won people over from that. And my strategy up front, like the first thing I did was try to look and see how do I differentiate myself between everybody else. And the
Right.
way I did that 10 years ago was um, same day delivery through my photos. No one else was offering that.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
You did same day delivery when you were editing yourself?
yep, sure did.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's how it led to my divorce.
I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sick, I think.
I was working. I was up like 6 a.m. in the morning, and I was up till usually 11 midnight, finishing up the day's
Yeah.
work, and then photographing all day long. Yeah,
Yeah. No, and I, and all joking aside, I can tell why you got divorced,
yeah,
and I think that's part of the reason I'm getting divorced is because that is just that kind of lifestyle, that workload just takes a toll on you. Like
yeah,
it takes a toll on you physically, it takes a toll on you emotionally, and it really takes a toll on your loved ones. I mean, just without a doubt. I mean, that's
yeah,
brutal.
yeah. It's
But
it's not sustainable, but like I wouldn't have
no,
grown the business had I not done that.
yeah,
And now work life balance is much more important to me.
you're right,
But at the
right.
time,
No,
like
and
you
there's
said,
just a
you're
moment when you have
desperate.
to. Yeah, exactly.
Desperate, you're desperate, It was that or like we were homeless. Like there was no option of like, oh, I can go get a job at the gas station and that's not gonna
Right.
pay the bills, for me and the kids and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So that was but were you also, because I know the temptation is for everyone who's starting out is to undercut everyone else on price, right? How did you feel like your pricing compared to your competitors, and is that ever something that you've been, you know, like, hey, you get same day and it's also 20% cheaper than the competition.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I did a whole lot of research on what everybody else was charging. I knew what spacecrafting I had an idea of what spacecrafting was charging based on like what I heard from other agents. Um, but my goal wasn't to undercut. I made my pricing competitive enough. Like OBO, I don't know if you knew OBO, who they were at the time. I think they're still around
I
maybe.
didn't, but yeah.
But they were like the discount bargain
Hmm.
company out
Right.
there. And they did all their business on volume. And like I think they were charging some deals were like $49 for photos and stuff like that, which is
Mm, yeah.
you can't
Like
can't do that. So like
you
I
lose money.
exactly, yeah. A lot of them were loss leaders, I think, just to have the volume. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, I think
so
Mark, that's how he started, was he was working with OBO.
oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just nodded. He's actually here. He's-
Yeah. I actually
um
worked for OBO too before I started my own company.
okay.
So I had a little
Yeah.
experience on how to do real estate photography.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they didn't really give you any training. It was very much a crash course. But yeah, I
Hmm.
started off. My photos were $99 was my starting price when I started,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
was doing it by photo count at the time,
Yeah.
which was cheap, but it wasn't like giving it away free cheap. I think
Sure.
it was in the range. You'd probably pay between $75 and $150 for photos, kind of the wider range of pricing. But yeah, the same day photo was the main thing, and then also like people loved that it was me. Like they really liked that it was me, and then I was able to give them the level of service that I was, and then I'm super personable.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then, and so, but then when you expanded into Florida, you're not the one doing the shooting, right? So or maybe you were when you started. No, you never did the shooting. So immediately when you went down to Florida, you hired somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I went down to Florida, started marketing, and started looking for a photographer at the same time. And I'll to be upfront, clear about this. Florida was a failure. When I tried to expand into Florida, it didn't work out. Like we were there
Oh,
for
okay.
probably about a year, year and a half, and actually tried it a couple different times over the years because I had photographers from other locations that were relocating to Florida, and they were like, "We
Hmm.
want to start Archipics down there." And I'm like, "All right, well, here's how I did it," and they never were able to replicate my efforts. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, Florida ended up being a failure. But what Florida did was I was driving back and forth to Florida quite a bit doing the marketing
Hmm.
stuff. And my folks lived down there too, so it was like kind of a combo. I
Sure.
go down there, I had a place to stay, and but as I drove to Florida from Minnesota all the time, I was constantly going through St. Louis,
Hmm.
and so St. Louis was kind of the halfway point, and I would usually stop there and spend the night. And I was like, St. Louis is a big city. I should try and open up here.
Mm.
That was about the extent of my
Hmm.
market research I did. And
Right.
so I decided to do
Yeah.
the same thing there. I went around to offices, and I would combine the trip. When I'd go to St. Louis, I'd spend the day there, go around to offices, and then I'd drive the rest of the way to Florida and go around to offices down there. And when I was in St. Louis handing out flyers, I started to get a few people calling me, and I had a photographer I hired there, and then that photographer, she ended up reaching out to me one day, and she said, "Hey, this agent that I photographed for said I should come in and meet the broker manager there." And I was like, "Okay, well, I should do that, so I'll come down there." And I did. And I went down there and met with them, and then ended up they were like, "Oh, hey, there's this new program the Coldwell Banker is starting. It's called Listing Concierge." They're
Right.
like, "You should come talk to us about that." And so I went in and chatted with them. They put me in touch with the people on the the regional level that were making
Mm-hmm.
the decisions. And they said they were looking for a company, and so I was like, "Yeah, we can do that." And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how we got involved in that program. So St. Louis, Missouri, ended up being our second big market that we were in.
So why did Florida fail?
Florida failed because every real estate agent retires and goes to Florida. So you've got 20 million real estate agents there.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people have a lot of work, and also every real estate agent that's not being successful as a real estate agent is also trying to be a real estate photographer, right? Like trying
Okay.
to do that too. There's no short supply of real estate photographers in Florida.
Yeah.
Um, and we were being undercut by pricing there too because there was a million. And like when I started out, when you start off on your own, you can afford to charge $99 per photo package or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And you try to scale, you're like, oh, I have to pay other people to do this stuff to be able to provide the level of service. But there was an endless supply of people who were willing to do it $99.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have people
Mm-hmm.
tell us all the time, "Oh, this photographer gives us 100 photos for $99." And I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Right. Right.
I can't
Yeah.
compete with
Have fun
that.
with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, at that point, it's,
So
well, if you're happy with it, yeah, continue.
yeah, and it was the same thing. It was like we succeeded in the places we succeeded because of my marketing efforts. And in
Mm-hmm.
Florida, I just wasn't there marketing enough, and the
Mm-hmm.
competition was stiff. And then when I sent other people down there, or when other people went down there to try and
Right.
establish it for us, it didn't turn out well. They just didn't put in the effort. They all tried to like do it their own way, and I'm like, you're welcome to try it, but this is how I was successful, and that's all I
Right.
can tell you is how I did it.
Yeah, and I think it seems to me just from the outside too of like when you're talking about somewhere like St. Louis, that seems like a place that would be underserved. At least at that time. I'm sure it's not now. And where Florida, it's a little flashier. I mean, depending on where you are in Florida, of course. But I mean, we follow enough real estate photographers on. It's all the glamour stuff and the boats and it's very it attracts. I think Florida probably attracts a showier type of agent and a showier type of person anyway. So there's going to be more. I would think there's more opportunity for media there. Where if you're going into these underserved, and that's why when I started my business, even in my little town in Ojai, it was underserved. There was like one real estate photographer around who would go there, but most of the people, even despite our high housing prices, weren't using a professional photographer. And I was like, oh, there's a need here. And so if I had been in LA proper, there was a ton of options, and I probably still could have built a business, but it wouldn't have been as easy for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. Florida was a tough nut to try and crack. Um, I think it was either like you had the connections. It's all relationship driven too.
Yeah.
So like
Right.
really being in place there would have helped out. Having someone in place that was like good with that. Um, but yeah, it's either high end luxury stuff where they're doing $1 million, multi-million-dollar homes on the shore,
Yeah.
or really low price stuff because Florida has both
Yeah.
sides. So
Of
they have
course.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
$149,000 homes, and then that $99 price point makes sense, right? They're not going to spend
Right.
$300 on photos. So yeah.
Well, okay. So you just said that as we talk about it all the time that that it's a relationship business. How are you when you get so big and you're the guy? How are you having relationships with all these agents? Right? I mean, do you just make sure that your photographers are personable, or what is the sales strategy once you're because like if you're in two big markets, it's already too much for one person to handle. You're not gonna be able to shake every agent's hand. So how do you do that, and how do you continue to grow?
Yeah, the key for me has been building a personable team and letting that team develop relationships with people as well.
Hmm.
Um, when I first started hiring photographers, I took them on all the jobs with me. Like we went together and I would introduce
Hmm.
them to the agents that I
Sure.
was working with and say, "Hey, this is a new person I'm hiring." And I'd have like a little introductory period where they'd be there a couple times with me.
Hmm.
So they felt comfortable with them. And there was always some pushback or whatever, a little bit here and there. But same thing with like customer service is like I hired very personal people. I showed them like this is how I deal with clients. This is the level of service that I give them, and I got to have you match this or surpass it. And so I also I'm still at events, different locations. As I've scaled and gotten bigger, I have reps that go there. So they're kind of
Mm-hmm.
that relationship there. It's still like the level of service and support. The other piece that we always did, I didn't mention this earlier, in addition to the same day delivery, is that live 365 support. We've always had that. So I've done shoots on Christmas Day. I've done shoots on Thanksgiving. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're available 7 days a week, all year long. We don't never take a day off, and agents relate to that and they appreciate that. So those are like two
Mm-hmm.
big differentiators for us, and they appreciate it. And then they know I still have agents now that will call and text me and talk to me when they have some kind of issue that they feel like isn't being addressed properly. They'll call and I'll respond and get back to them and take care of it for them right away.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
still
you
have
should.
that connection and they appreciate
Yeah.
that. But like as we're bringing on more and more people, I'm becoming less and less known in the company, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so like people are like, "Oh, you're the owner of the company." Sometimes I'll show up to a house to photograph
Right.
and they'll start talking to me. "How long have you been with Architects?" And I'm like, "Oh, I started it 10 years ago." They're
Right.
like, "Oh, you're the owner?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Of this
Oh,
franchise?" And I'm like, "No, no, no. I started the
right.
company." So yeah, it's a fun little thing.
Right. Well, and I do and you mentioned that word franchise, and I think because you're getting, and not that you're franchising, but I know I want to talk a bit more about how big you have gotten, and because I think that's really interesting, and I'm sure aspirational for a lot of our listeners. But first, Alex, I want to take a break, and then we're going to do social media sidebar. Then we're going to come back. We'll talk more. I do want to get into what you are doing at PMRE, and we'll talk more about how big your business has gotten, and then also we have action items, and Alex, he even prepped an action item, and he even gave a visual aid for it. So this is a first for Upmarket Pod, so you're not going to want to miss that. So we'll be right back. Molly, I know you love things that slay.
Yes. Major.
Major sleigh. Yeah, I know a major sleigh. Mark, you know a major sleigh. And I'm not talking Santa here. A major sleigh is auto HDR.
Our new best friend in photo editing.
Yeah, absolutely. It is so fast. And so it's not even that it's fast. I mean, I love that it's fast, but it's also good.
It's got to be good, right? And it's good,
gotta
man.
be good.
Quality's awesome.
Yeah, if you want to slay, you got to be good.
True. And they can handle aerials, they can handle twilights, like whatever we put in there, it's just like
Oh yeah,
consistent
spits it right
quality.
out, and yeah. I mean, it's just fantastic stuff. And so we're able now to deliver photos within an hour, 2 hours of the shoot happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely incredible. Our clients love it. They do love it.
Yeah.
We all love it.
Who doesn't love it? Yeah.
Who doesn't love it? I don't know. There's probably some person out there who doesn't love it.
And our shooters love it.
That's
Quicker
right.
for them. We're shooting JPEGs. It uploads quick. They're done at the end of the day. I mean, all of that stuff. It's just been such a win.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if you want to slay with your clients, go to autohdr.com/upmarket, and you're going to get a free month of editing if you sign up.
That's a ton of listings. Come on.
I mean, that's so much. That's a lot of free money right there for you. So autohdr.com/upmarket. I love that the Instagram for iGuide is Go iGuide, because that's where I want to go all the time. Go iGuide, let's go. and you know what?
iGuide was taken. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, I love it. It's even Go _iGuide. That's right. Yeah, don't want to forget that underscore. Go _iGuide.
Really gets them going. Yeah.
No, I get excited because I'm just excited about iGuide. I mean, who does not get excited about 3D tours? I mean,
I know.
You get
perks
excited
me up right away.
Yeah, of
Gosh,
course.
I wish I want to wear blue every time I see them.
Yeah. Well, and because what you love is you love walking through those things, but I know in the back of your head you're thinking, are these accurate? Yes, they are very, very accurate. Like 99.99. I don't know.
Insanely accurate. The most accurate one out there.
Yeah.
Floor plans are killer. Turnaround time, we're loving it.
Yeah. I mean, everything. Pay per project. You don't have any subscription fees like with some other 3D tour companies.
Yeah.
So look, the site plans, and we talk about it all the time. And also, they are running the road to PMRE.
Oh, you got to get in on
tour to
that.
PMRE. So go to goiGuide.com/PMRE to sign up and win one of those trips. And go to goiGuide.com just to freaking check it out, man, and order a camera, order a Planix Pro. We got one. It's nice.
We love it. And the team, the team there is awesome. Great people.
Well, we love the team, of course.
Period.
Slay. All right, social media sidebar. We are, of course, Upmarket Pod across all social media. If you want to follow me personally, Reed Fish, LYSM on Instagram. Alex, Aaron, when I think of social media, I think of you.
I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't either. What is your social media, just in case anyone wants to look it up? I don't know why you would.
I don't know. Social media is not important to me. I have an Instagram, and I think I have a Facebook.
Yeah, I think your Instagram is at
images, possibly.
Archipix something. Archipix. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have like 300 followers or something. I looked you up. Well, okay, but I am curious about this. We don't have to get into too much social media because you actually don't know anything about it. But why did you not use that to help grow the business? Because I think so many of us in our industry are reliant on social media to be getting leads and to be getting clients. So I mean, and we've preached it for forever, and I think it's the smart way to go. You cannot rest on just marketing with social media. You really need to do in person. You really, probably need to call people. But why wasn't that an avenue that you wanted to take to grow your business? And do you think if you had, that you could be even bigger than what you are now?
Well, the first question is, I just don't like social media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's great for mental health. I hate being on it. I'm not on social media. I begrudgingly have an Instagram and Facebook account.
Mm-hmm.
But as a result of that, I just don't understand it as well, in terms of marketing stuff. I have hired companies over the years to try and help us with marketing and social media stuff. And all it's done is throw my money away. I've spent this money and seen no results from it.
Mm-hmm.
And the feedback that I get from people, even now when I've talked to people about social media, is that you can't specifically target real estate agents,
mm-hmm.
that they work as real estate agent on social media. You can get people tied through through their likes and stuff like that, but you're not for sure hitting just real estate agents. So it seemed like it was kind of just throwing money broadly out there. And I was like, I don't see the point of it. And I just didn't get the results I wanted when I did it. So
yeah, well, I mean, I think if you're doing paid advertising on social media, I don't think you can hit just real estate agents, but there's ways of crafting your social media and you're putting out content that real estate agents are going to want to watch. And then, the big thing for us is always collabing. And so when we are, we're posting stuff about a house or whatever, we'll collab with the real estate agent and their name is on there too. And then their real estate agent followers. So, I mean, there's definitely ways to make sure your audience is composed of the people you want. But yeah, I think if you're doing paid advertising, I don't know if it gets that granular of you're only hitting real estate agents. And so, and I think, we've not really ever done promoted posts or, paid posts. So I think I don't have a look and I've not heard anyone say that that's ever worked for them in our space. But I do think having organically, social media that appeals to realtors does help. So
for sure,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to argue that it doesn't help because I know a lot of people have built their businesses doing that. And I see that all the time. I see I am probably the largest real estate company that has no social media presence.
Yeah. It's kind of astonishing that you're as big as you are without it. And so that's why I wanted to.
I've focused all of my spending and efforts in other areas. Any money that I've had with the business that it's made has been put back into expanding the business and expanding geographically, going to new locations and stuff versus social media presence. And I have paid companies and I've hired people in-house to kind of manage stuff. I've always felt like it wasn't the best use of my money spending at the time.
Yeah. Well, and it also, I think it speaks to the fact that, of what I know about you, I don't want to say you're egoless, but I don't think you have for me, I have a big enough ego, and I think most people do, that it's well, no, I mean, if we're building this cool company, I want people to know about it. I want to, you want to kind of show off a little. And I don't, you have a very humble vibe to you. And I can see why you don't like social media. So I just think most of us, a lot of us anyway, I guess I don't want to speak for everyone, but we have that, we're needy or, we want to show off or, we're performers. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm certainly not egoless, but I don't really see a lot of value in personal aggrandization or anything like that. I don't think highly of myself. I don't think that I've got anything special with my business that anyone else couldn't replicate through hard work. That's the only thing that I have that differentiates me between a lot of people that I've seen attempt this is that I will just work harder than most people will. And I think the people that I've talked to who are successful in this business are people who don't accept failure or learn from failure. You know, I've failed lots of times. Florida was the first of many, many failures for me in the business. And it's always just been about keep going. Like, okay, what can I learn from this failure so that I don't fail the next time in that same area? That's how I built my business. Is just that's my secret weapon. It's just hard work and not stop.
All right. Well, that works. Well, I like to present that I work hard and then I'll actually work hard. So that's how I do it, and that's how we roll on this podcast. So speaking of working hard, let's take another quick break because I'm tired, and then we're going to come back. We'll talk PMRE, and then we're going to end this thing with action items. Molly, I appreciate you come on the ads and you come in the colors of one of our sponsors, HD Photo Hub. You know, your bright red cardigan there. I think
played.
Yeah, exactly. That's being a team player that's thinking ahead. Really, really appreciate that.
Love them.
Yeah, of course. Well, and we're going to visit.
Oh,
I know.
exciting
Spokane,
stuff.
Washington.
What a way to go out, huh?
Yeah, what a way to go out.
I know.
So we're looking forward to making content with that team up there. But, you know, we're loving just working with HD Photo Hub because it is, I mean, really everything you need to run the back end of your business.
Yeah, super simple. Even realtors, like I said, can figure it out.
Yes,
Like
realtors can figure out how to
break it
download the
down.
photos, and no one is having problems with that. It's so great. And I mean, I'll mention
gotta
it one
come
more
on.
time. Marketing kits. I mean, the
Every
marketing
time,
kits.
man.
Well, you have to, because I think people look at the cost of HD Photo and they say, I don't know. Comparing it to other ones, I don't know. It seems expensive. It's not that it's expensive, but you're like, well, it is an expense. But you're like, well, if you sell the optional add-on marketing kits, you can sell those to your clients. It's an upsell to your clients. You're actually going to end up making money by using HD Photo Hub because you're going to bring in much more money than you're putting out to HD Photo Hub. So it's
They
we
sell
say it all the
themselves
time.
these things,
No brainer.
man. Yeah.
Sell themselves.
They're putting it in there. It's just like the agent sees it. That's just a
Upsell.
no-brainer
It's just
for
one
them.
click, 25, $35, whatever. Oh man.
Yeah.
Love it. So go to hdphotohub.com. Use the code Upmarket. And if you're a new user, you're going to get 15 free full deliveries. That includes the marketing kits. So you're going to make like hundreds of dollars just from using this code. Right? My God.
Get in there, people.
You know, our studio, you've noticed in our studio, we haven't really, we should do a behind the scenes tour of the studio.
Maybe
where we
not
do
the
show
storage
for-
area, but maybe
Well,
in
yeah,
there.
well, no, but it is off the storage area. We have, I think, an extremely tiny kitchen.
It's
I
a
won-
one-person kitchen.
I wonder how many square feet that kitchen is.
You should use second floor, Reed.
Molly, that is such a great idea. Because look, I can pull out my phone and probably it would take, that kitchen is so small, it would probably take literally 6 seconds to make a floor plan.
Just
in
in
there.
and back right out.
Yeah,
You're done.
there you go. Boom. Just you got one. There you go. Hold your phone in your hand, and you are going to be able to produce an accurate floor plan instantly. And even if it was a bigger house, I mean, it's going to take you a few more minutes to scan it, but that floor plan is going to come back instantly. I mean, come on.
Deliver that sucker right there with your photos. I mean, you're done, man.
Secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You can get a free month of service. Do all the tiny kitchens you want. All right, let's do some more here with Alex Aaron, the founder, CEO, president, head honcho of Archipix, which is now in, I believe, can we talk about this? You are in 47 states now?
48.
48 states and I think a couple provinces in Canada. So I do want to I want to get to how you got there, but first I want to mention again that this is Road to PMRE because PMREconference.com, November 17th through 19th at the Palms in Las Vegas. Get there and you are going to be on stage this year for the first time as part of a panel that I'm actually moderating. So you better be nice to me and I'll let you talk. And I believe the panel is basically like on how to grow, how to like increasing your geographic range or grow, really like supercharging your scaling. And so it's going to be you and Alex Coombs and Dustin McKibben and someone else that I cannot remember off the top of my head. But hopefully you're going to give away some of your secret sauce on stage. You know.
I'll certainly be open and sharing. If you ask the right questions, I'll answer them.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, that's that. We'll see if that happens. But like, so you were in St. Louis. You were in this other market, and then you just kept adding markets and adding markets, and now you're in 48 states. How did you get that big? And how do you even manage it? I know there's so many questions here, but it's like, what is the trajectory to get from 2 states to 48? And how quickly
Well,
did that
I'm
happen?
still perfecting that.
Okay.
Both how to scale and also how to manage it.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the scaling happened, as I started moving across from St. Louis, and I was like, okay, Minneapolis, St. Louis, Wisconsin, I need to start filling in the gaps. And I said, for me, it's always been, I always think long term goals, right? Like, where am I going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20
Hmm.
years down the road? And while you don't know what the future holds, you can certainly like make plans and work towards those, set goals for yourself. And so that's what I've always done. And I was like, well, if I don't want to be doing this the rest of my life, and I want to
Hmm.
position my business in a way I can exit, whatever that looks like, where I don't have to be involved in the company anymore, or I sell the
Hmm.
company or whatever it is. So I decided to try and position my company as a Midwestern company, like, oh, we're the central part of the country,
Sure.
and cover everything Midwest. And so that's what my focus was. And we expanded to 14 states. Um, and then had an opportunity come up because of that presence. And again, the constant marketing, making connections with the right people. And I happened to meet somebody who liked us and said, hey, you should talk to this person. And I talked to that person and was like, had a completely different conversation than I thought I was going in to have. I was going in
Hmm.
to say like, hey, we're architects and we can do this. We're a great company and we can provide. He was like, no, no, no. Let me frame this properly. We're looking for a partner on a nationwide level. He's like, is this something
Hmm.
that you can do? And I was like, all right, let's talk about this. And so that's what happened. The catalyst from the 14 states to 48 states, is we went after this contract with them, and we got the contract, and it required massive scaling very quickly. So we went from where we were at 14 states up to 48 states in a matter of about a month and a half. So it was very, very quick scaling.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just silent here because I'm just so stunned. Really, that seems almost impossible to do. And I do know that this was actually recent, right? I know this
Yeah.
has just been in the last few months.
Yeah. This year.
So uh, that's crazy to me. And so how like. Uh, Okay, so you got this national deal, and it's with, you don't have to say the name, but it's with a real estate brokerage, right? So you're
Yeah.
covering
Real estate
um,
brand. Yeah.
real estate brand. And so, what, like, how were you able to like, how are you even able to hire people in all these territories? Like,
Yeah.
you're not, there's no way you can be there on the ground and like do interviews and,
No, no, we definitely had to. I mean, we've been perfecting the how do you hire the right people and make sure that they're qualified, things like that, as we've been scaling over the years. So we had a pretty good system in place already. Um, but yeah, I built a staff for over the years, and they do a great job. So I really relied on them, and it was a group effort, and they were not happy, and they told me the same thing as you, like, this is impossible. But we made it happen. We just, it took a lot of hard work, and we had to refine some systems that we had in place, and now we have an even better, you know, hiring recruiting pipeline than we ever had before because of this. We had a
Mhm,
very efficient system before, but it's gotten even more out of necessity. We had to say, okay, where's our pain points? Where are we running into problems as we're trying to do this? Because we literally had,
mhm,
thousands of applicants that we were going through, trying to weed through and pick out the best ones for all these different locations.
mhm.
So we had to like figure out how do we do this on a mass level.
And then so when you are looking for photographers, I mean, I know we have so many variety when we're hiring photographers, they're coming in and some have, and we're kind of at the point now where it's like, I don't even know how much experience you need with photography itself because it's getting so easy to do. We're more hiring on personality. But when you're hiring remotely, how much precedence are you putting on personality and how much are you like, oh, this person already kind of has enough training, they know what they're doing. They have experience in real estate photography. I mean, how much are you weighing those factors, and then how are you able to make sure they're adequately trained from afar?
Yeah, I mean, we look at the totality of the circumstances with everybody. Everyone's different. We do have some people who come to us who don't have experience specifically in real estate or very limited experience, and we have people that already have their own businesses. They're just looking for something to supplement what they already do. We don't have like
Mm-hmm.
any kind of non-compete thing, so it's gig work for us. So
Mm-hmm.
they can come work for us and have their own business or work for other people too. So we go through, like, if they have a portfolio, we'll view that.
Mm-hmm.
We do in-person interviews with everybody, or in person, I mean, like
Yeah.
this,
Like Zoom.
face
Yeah.
to face, where we can talk to them, kind of get a feel for their personality, and have just gotten kind of good at figuring out, okay, is this person going to be good in front of a real estate agent or not? Because that's really what
Mm-hmm.
matters, is
Mm-hmm.
how they present themselves to a real estate agent.
Right. Well, and one of the things, and you just mentioned that you don't have people sign non-competes, and I think like in California, it's not even enforceable, so it doesn't even matter. But like that to me, or I've heard from a lot of people, is the biggest fear. I'm going to train this person. They're going to know all my systems. They're going to know how to do this. They're in Bismarck, North Dakota. I'm not going to be there, so they're the ones interfacing with all the clients. What's going to stop them from looking at the prices I charge and what they're paying me, and then being like, hey, well, I want all of that for myself. I'm just going to go ahead and start my own shingle.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing that stopped everyone else from succeeding in the business at the level that I have, is that they can go take pictures, but can they do all of it? Like
Right.
they don't understand what's involved in business. I didn't understand what's involved in running a business until I started doing it on my own. Working for OPO
Mm-hmm.
was one thing, and I realized like how much more was involved in it besides just photographing and uploading photos.
Right.
Right. So I've had some people over the years who have quit and gone and started their own business. Most of them aren't in business anymore. A few of them are,
Mm-hmm.
and I got no hard feelings for them. Like, awesome, great for you. Like, competition's good for business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've never been afraid of that, and I've never had a situation where they've gone and taken any kind of noticeable business from me. My
Mm-hmm.
business has always been on the up, and as long as it continues that trend, I don't have anything to worry about, right? Like, if they go and they take 2 or 3 agents or whatever who like them personally, okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. I'm gonna replace them with 10 other agents, in the
Right.
time that it takes them to build that relationship with them. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's just something that is going to happen. And I think if and to, you can kind of look at it with hiring as well. I mean, you can kind of like, and I know we've seen that too with people where you're like, oh, this person seems to want to be an employee. Like, I always go back to Nikki, who works with us. Like, she doesn't want to be the boss. She really
yeah,
just loves being able to turn it off at the end of the day. She just like shooting. And so she goes out and does that. And it's a perfect job for her. And
yeah,
so I don't have that worry. But we've definitely had other people where you always have your eye on them. You're like, okay, what are you up to here? You know.
yeah. I try not to be suspicious of people, because I think it's not great for the relationships, on
Hmm.
a subconscious level.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, absolutely, we've had people who've gone and started their own businesses, and like, I'm still friendly with them. I'll still talk with them, and I got absolutely no hard feelings against anybody. It's not healthy to do that, but also it's like, you could probably work together somehow.
Right.
How can you
Right.
partner and combine? Like, that's something we do. I've like Even recently, I had someone who left several years ago. Well, it was before COVID, so 6, 7 years ago, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Um, went and started his own thing, and now he's coming to me and he's like, "Hey, you got any work?" So it happens, and then, like, I'm happy to have them back because they did great work, no hard feelings, and they can continue to operate their own business and still work for me too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there's plenty for everybody. There's plenty to share.
Right. Well, and so when you're looking at, so you have to have photographers in all these areas. I mean, how much support staff do you need for this? I mean, and what does your day-to-day involvement in the company look like at this point?
Okay. So staff wise, I've got a team of VAs that work for me that handle all the customer support. And they are, I want to say we have six or eight now. I can't
Okay.
remember. This, this,
Yeah. All right.
this is answering your second part of the question, is
Yeah.
what my day to day looks like. Um, I've got a team of QC people also that kind of review what's being done with the editing to make sure everything looks good before it's
Hmm.
delivered. I've got managers in place. I got office manager. I've got a photographer manager, and I've got an operations lead who kind of is my fills the role that I really used to do when I was doing my
Hmm.
long days working a long time. Yeah, my day to day now is really kind of high level strategy stuff.
Hmm.
I'm working with my managers. Oh, my sales manager, I didn't mention that too. I've got sales manager, so I will kind of meet with all of my managers, usually on a daily basis, depending on what my schedule looks like,
Hmm.
just to check in. I in order to keep like a good atmosphere in the business, what do they call it? Culture in the
Yeah.
business. We try to be friendly with everybody. Like I am friends with everybody that works for me. Like I'm very friendly with them. We talk and we talk about not work stuff. That's always how our conversations start off is like, what's going on in your life? Here's what's going on. Or I got this thing going on before we get to work. And then we'll just check in about work, and what issues they're running into. And then they get to hear about my harebrained ideas that I have. And then they have a million questions. I'm like, well, how am I going to do that? How's that even possible? I don't think we can do that. And then I have to kind of coach them. I'm like, everything's impossible until you do it,
Right.
So that's kind of what my day-to-day looks like is that. And then I'll have meetings with, other company business owners. I do run a networking group with companies that have scaled. And we have a monthly meeting. So I'm involved in that and a few other projects in the industry as I'm trying to just improve the industry overall. And back to your point earlier about the kind of competition and people stealing the work or stealing part of your business or whatever. Like when I first started this business, I was very protective and I was very worried about things like those first 3 years. And PMRE was what changed my mind. The first time I went to PMRE, it completely blew my mind. First of all, that like everybody was doing the same thing that I was doing, like struggling the same areas I was struggling in, and meeting them and learning that. And I was like, oh, I can have conversations with people and get ideas from them, and also I'm happy to answer their questions. So that's what really turned me around from being like, I'm protecting this and I'm shielding myself from everybody else, and I don't want people to know how I failed and where I made mistakes and stuff. I want to just present as being perfect and everything. That all went away. I was like, okay, it's more beneficial to be open and honest with everybody about like the struggles that you have. And like, you can learn from a lot from people when I break down and I'm open and honest with people and they can tell I'm being honest about stuff and I openly admit the mistakes I've made, then they will open up and be much more sharing with me too. So it works out well. PMRE really kind of reset my mind on how I think about my business and also the industry in general.
Yeah, no, and obviously that's been our whole story here at Upmarket. I mean, we have a whole podcast where basically I've been saying for years how we can't break into this other market. So, we always are talking about our failures, and the more open we are, the more you put it really, really well. Cause I've found the more open we are, the more people are open with us and the more comes back to us. I mean, it is just like and that is really to keep harping on it time and time again. That is the beauty of PMRE, is that everyone there can feel your pain. So if you are open about that pain, you are going to make like deep friendships with these people, because it's like you're going through this thing together, and everyone is so willing to support, and it is, it's just it's a beautiful thing, and it really is the way that it is the key, I think, to unlocking scaling your business is just being open.
Yeah, there's no problem that you will have had in this industry that someone else at PMRE hasn't had the same problem.
Right.
There's enough people there. We've all like gone through the same things, and it's like we're not inventing anything. We're just kind of figuring out how it works. And we all have like little different variations on how we operate, but we're all basically doing the same thing, So we can all relate on that level. But yeah, it's a wonderful. I first time I went, I was very hesitant, and I was like, I don't want to do this. This is a bad idea. And I went very close-minded when I went there. And once I got there, I was still standoffish to everybody. I think
was it the year that you were on gave the action item?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the first year.
Because I felt like you were a little standoffish.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, I'm not very personable. I don't like
well, now that I know you better, and full disclosure, obviously you were in Cancun with us. We went on the PMRE retreat in Cancun. So I got to hang out with you for 5 days, and I was like, oh, Alex is a great guy, actually. So
actually, despite appearances.
Yeah. Well, you were a little standoffish. I felt like you were a little guarded, and and I just remember you were also talked about how you fired your mom. And I was like, who is this guy?
We need some context around that. That wasn't for performance. It's because I'm forcing her into retirement. She needs to not be working anymore.
You're putting her out to pasture. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. She's got great grandkids now, so she needs to focus on that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not big in small talk and striking up conversations with strangers or whatever. If I get an introduction to somebody or someone comes to talk to me, I'm very open. I'm just not good at that. Hey, I'm Alex. How's it going?
Right.
I've never been great at that. I've gotten better at it now at PMRE. Like I'll actually like talk to people. I get in the elevator, go into the hotel room or whatever, and someone else
Mhm.
gets in the elevator with a tag on. I'll start talking to them,
Mm.
but that's not my strong point, I would say.
Yeah. 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 Well, we're always learning, we're always getting better. And to do that though, it takes action. That is the one thing that we always, try to do here at the end is take some action. So it is time for our action items. Our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Go to pixelcrm.com where you are going to be able to find all the stuff that you need to run that back end of your business, keep track of your clients, market to them. So many functionalities with Pixel CRM. It's going to grow your business. Check it out. pixelcrm.com. I'll let you go since you have graphics. I'll let you go last. I'll go first. I have a variation probably on one I've done a few times, but I'm hoping that everyone listening can find something that they are struggling with or just a problem that they have. And it goes back to what Alex just said. There's always someone in this industry who has had that problem. So if you have even a little problem, reach out to someone on the industry, reach out to someone you follow on Instagram, reach out to Alex, reach out to me, or anyone else who's probably been on this show. Or actually Mark, you reach out to Mark, then he can answer the questions. I don't have to. But no, we'll answer any questions. So, just reach out about a problem you're having, just one little thing. And I think you're going to find out that there's a lot of answers out there. Or just post in the Facebook groups, whatever it is. So just ask for help. That's my action item.
I'm always open to helping people too. I'll answer any questions. I have had quite a few other business owners from around the country reach out to me in the past and ask for help and advice and stuff, and I'm always happy to give it. Yeah.
Great.
My action item is related to kind of what we talked about at the offset of this is that the key to success is like tireless working. Like you can't sit back. You can't wait for someone to hand it to you. You can't pay someone to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. And so the graphic that I have here is I've never showed this.
And watch it. And so you got to be watching on YouTube for this. You got to be watching on YouTube. So and like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe and hype. Isn't that a new thing on YouTube now?
Oh, hype
something.
I don't.
Yeah.
Hype it.
Yeah, hype it up. So this is a graph that I put together showing like what my tour counts look like my first years in business.
Right.
Now, I don't have 2016 on here because it was October, November, December.
Okay.
And it was probably between those 3 months, I probably did about, 150 tours those 3 months. But the first year, 2017, my first full year, I did almost 1,000. I photographed almost 1,000 homes in that first year. And again, as we mentioned, like I did this not by having, some great deal with anybody. I didn't have any brokerage deals in place, anything like that. It was literally working my tail off Monday through Friday, working relentlessly, handing out flyers.
Yeah. Pure hustle.
So basically like mass marketing myself within my market. Right. And then in the second year, I was up to almost 1,800. So just about doubled in those 2 years, my business work. And then again, almost doubled it, or maybe I did double it. I don't know. I'm not that quick at math.
Yeah. No,
close
you
to
did
doubling
double
it the third year as well. So I went from, doing, I guess 150 orders the very first partial year, but 1,000, a little less than 1,000 orders my first year, to within 5 years, I was north of 7,000 tours.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So that's very quick growth. And again, I didn't use social media. I didn't pay anyone to consult me. I did this by going out and working relentlessly. And I think that if you're willing to work like that, you can find success. And I think that I personally feel that success is a choice. Like you can choose every day, you choose whether you're going to be successful or not. And it's based on what you do with your day, right? Like I could go out and do the minimum and go, oh, I went to 3 offices and I dropped off flyers. Now I'm going to go take the rest of the day off.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's what I would do.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, this is why I was able to do 1,000 tours in the first year. Right. It was because it was literally a 40-hour-a-week job for me. And the only time I wasn't going and dropping off flyers was when I had shoots, you know, and we're, if you drive around, like I can't do this now. Maybe you're the same way. Anywhere I drive, I notice every single real estate office that I go by, right? Like I'm constantly noticing that. So I can't go anywhere and not see that. And if I see it, I'll pull in. Even today, still, I always have flyers in my car.
Mm.
If I drive by an office, I'll be like, oh, I can stop by and say hey to them and drop off some flyers. And even, if you're working 40 hours a week and doing this every week of the year, you're going to run out of offices eventually. But I would still go back to the same offices and drop off flyers again.
Yeah. You got to
You
got to hit.
I wouldn't like, I went there 6 months ago, whatever. It's like, oh, it's been 3 months since I was there. Let me stop off. And I would also like have new flyers designed too. So it was something new to drop off, something new to look at, a new picture to grab people's attention.
Right. So what's the action item though? To work your ass off?
The action item is to work relentlessly, like to go out and define the business. Like you can't be lazy. You can't rest on your laurels. You can't expect business to come to you.
All right.
You've got to go out and find the business.
All right. This is our hardest action. This is maybe our hardest action item ever because
it's actual action.
It's actual action. Yeah. Well, except for when Adam just said take a coding class, but my all-time favorite. All right, Alex, Aaron, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate your time. We of course appreciate all of our sponsors. Thank you to Molly for producing. Thank you to Mark for not being here. And then, of course, thank you most of all to all of our viewers, all of our listeners. We do it for you. And come to PMRE, hang out with me and Alex, and just walk around with Alex. You're going to be doing 7,500 tours a year before you know it.
And Reed, I'd be happy. We've developed such a rapport here today. I'd be happy to come out there to California and help you expand into that new market and finally break into it.
Okay, all right. I'll buy your ticket. Get your ass
my
out
plane
here.
ticket. I'll be out there. I got to stay in the guest bedroom too, though. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it'll be worth it. All right, thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Yeah, have a good one.
Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Media and is produced by Molly Peart and edited by Tessa Nelson. Our wish for you this week is to not have to do any Friday Night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.